Come back when you get time. Did you bring Doug with you? Doug with you? Okay. He is in hog heaven because CU is playing Nebraska on week number 2.
Hey everyone, we're finally here to film our record show day video. Sorry we didn't get much vlogging done because we were in a rush that morning. I was doing the contest drawing before we went to the show. And after that we didn't really have a proper breakfast. We were just rushing because I wanted to get there right at 10. I was kind of rushing Chris to get there at 10 too. Yeah, we were there for about 2 hours. It was a pretty good success for both of us. I got all these albums. I think I spent about $100 on these, which is all I brought. So we just left right after I spent that. And Chris got 3 albums. So
$27.
Yeah, you got some good deals. I don't feel like I got the best deals. I got some good deals on a few of these, but overall, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think on that. But I guess I will go ahead and kick this off right now. So the first one I'm going to show is the first album by this band. It's the Blues Magoos, Psychedelic Lollipop. Okay, we're trying a different camera angle, so this one's still in the shrink actually. This is their first album from, I think it's 1966. I'm not sure. I think this is the mono version. I'll show the label. It's on Mercury. Yeah. Not sure if that's going to show up. Anyway, it's the first album to feature the word psychedelic in the title. It's not a psychedelic album in my opinion. I have heard this before. It was not a blind buy. It's more of garage rock, but it's good stuff. You got We Ain't Got Nothing Yet. That's a good one. Tobacco Road, One by One. So it's a pretty good album, but these guys didn't last very long. I think they only lasted until 1968 and then they split up. So
I think Magoo's related to the cartoon Magoo. Is there any relationship?
You know, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. So I paid $10 for this one, and it's in good shape. All right, next is one of my favorite bands, which I have mentioned quite a bit in the VC here, and this is Raspberries, their first album. Just one of my favorite power pop bands of the 70s. This came out in 72. I've been looking for this for a while, so it's kind of a grail, and I'm really happy I found it. Of course, the song Go All the Way is on here. When I hear the song Come Around and See Me, it reminds me a lot of the Beatles. It really sounds like the Beatles to me. And then you've got, let's see, what's the other song? I Saw the Light, Don't Want to Say Goodbye. So Eric Carmen and the Raspberries. This is a very nice one to find. I paid $8 for this. Show the label really quick. It's on Capitol. Can't go wrong with the Raspberries in my opinion. I have another Raspberries album I picked up a week or 2 ago that I still have to show you guys as well. Alright, moving on. I was super happy to stumble across this. I found Steve Earle's second album, Exit Zero. $6 for this one. I don't know if you can see that. I have heard the song Nowhere Road before, which is really good. And I have his first album, Guitar Town, which I love. So this is a very nice pickup for $6. It is on MCA. Good stuff. Alright, you guys mentioned this album a lot in your Psych entries to my contest. And I found this one. It's a really good copy. Vanilla Fudge, their first album. Yeah, definitely kind of a Psych record. Lots of Beatles covers on here. Ticket to Ride, Eleanor Rigby, really good covers. I really like the Curtis Mayfield cover on here, People Get Ready, as well. This was a really fun listen. Thank you guys for bringing this to my attention. And it's just on Atco, that label. Super excited to find this, The Best of the Move. And then I had a compilation on burn disc someone made for me a while ago. This is a gatefold as well. Very awesome 60s, early 70s British rock band. If you like the Easy Beats, early Kinks, early Who, you will like The Move. Just great musicians in here. Jeff Lynne of Electric Light Orchestra joined them later on. Roy Wood is kind of the mastermind of the group. I've only listened to one out of these 2 LPs so far, but this was $6. I'm super happy I picked this up. Songs I like that I've heard so far: Here We Go Round the Lemon Tree, Walk Upon the Water, Flowers in the Rain, Brontosaurus, and Blackberry Way. Yeah, The Move. Check out Chris's video, Dixieland Farm. He just made a video on Electric Light Orchestra, kind of going through the history and talking about The Move as well. It's a really good video. Alright, the next one I was happy to find for a good price. Anyone want to check into Morrison Hotel? The Doors. This is their 5th album. I have their... Okay, I've heard all the Doors albums. I was obsessed with them when I was in high school. But it's been kind of hard for me to find good copies of their albums that are a decent price. They're usually pretty pricey. This one was $10. There is what I call a bullet hole right there, but that's okay. Really good album. Like I said, it's their 5th album. This sounds excellent on vinyl, by the way. Let me see what label this is on. I believe it's on Elektra. Yeah. It's on Elektra. Stunning album. I really like playing Waiting for the Sun really loud. Such a good song. Of course, Roadhouse Blues is also on here. I like Peace Frog. And then on side 2, I love Queen of the Highway, Indian Summer is Gorgeous, and Maggie McGill. So I was happy to get this. I'm really wanting to get Strange Days next if I can find a good copy. Okay, I think I've got like 4 more left. 3, yep, 4 more left. Okay, you guys know I'm a big Byrds fan. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but I am. And I have Fifth Dimension on vinyl already, but this one's still in the shrink. This is one of my favorites. It's Turn, Turn, Turn. So it's their 2nd album. My favorite Byrds song is on this album, and that is It Won't Be Wrong. I love the guitars on it, the harmonies, the vocals, the lyrics. It's like the perfect song to me. And I really like the Gene Clark tunes on here. Set You Free This Time. If You're Gone, that's beautiful, and The World Turns All Around Her. Can't go wrong with this Byrds.
Looks like it's a stereo cut too.
Yeah, it's a stereo. It is on Columbia. I don't know if, since we're trying a different camera angle, I don't know if you guys are able to see the labels very well. Alright, and then I picked up 2 Beach Boys albums, which I didn't have any Beach Boys on vinyl yet, so I was excited to find these. My uncle is the biggest Beach Boys fan, so he kind of gives me tips on what to look for and just a lot of information. He's probably the #1 biggest Beach Boys fan. So I got 2 of their albums. This one is their 17th album, I think. It's Surf's Up. This was $7. Really good copy. So yeah, I think it's their 17th album. The songs I like off of here are Disney Girls, Don't Go Near the Water, and Till I Die. That's an awesome song. And of course, A Day in the Life of a Tree. Great Beach Boys album. I'm wanting to get Sunflower, that album, at some point, and also the Smile Sessions. And I only have Pet Sounds on CD, but I'll have to get a reissue of that because the copies I've seen are ridiculously priced. Alright, and then I got Holland from the Beach Boys. This comes with a bonus 7-inch, and this was $10. Really good shape. I think this is their 19th album, if I remember correctly. I like Surf's Up a little more than Holland, but Holland is also good. Dennis Wilson has a really good song on here a really beautiful song called Only With You. And I like Mike Love's the California Saga songs. Those are pretty good. And of course Sail on Sailor. So Holland by the Beach Boys. That is also on Reprise and Brother Records. Alright, we're down to my last one here. When I saw this one, I kind of had to do a double take because I didn't think I'd come across this locally at all, ever. And I've talked about Green on Red before. I have their first album, Gravity Talks. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. It's a really good album. This is their second album, and it's a Japanese pressing. Hello.
It's pretty cool. You gotta do the Japanese tea ceremony to get the record.
That's right. Let me show the insert here. This is, yeah, my first Japanese pressing, and this is nice to have. It sounds excellent. It's in like mint minus condition. So Green on Red, I will include a Needledrop towards the end of this video. But they started out kind of more psychedelic, especially on their first album. There's a lot of organ. But this album, it's more, they added more country flares to it, I guess. And it's kind of psychedelic with more of a country edge. This came out in 1985, and yeah, so happy to have this. Let's see, it was marked as $20, but the guy gave me a deal for $15. So this has kind of been a grail because I was going to eventually get it on eBay. So very shocked and surprised to find this at the record show and for $15. So that's kind of my grail from the show. And that is what I bought, you guys. Now Chris is going to share what he bought. He got some good stuff.
Hi guys. So this is the Beatles Magical Mystery Tour. I saw it for $15. It was unopened, and I thought it seemed like a pretty good price to me.
Yeah, it's a new reissue.
So I thought, why not? Let's pick this up. I like that song, "I Am the Walrus." So it's pretty cool, and I think this came out in the late '60s. This looks like it's the US LP version, because it has like side 1 is the Magical Mystery Tour, and then side 2 are some of the singles that were released during that time frame. So I think that's what this is, and it says it's got a full page color book too.
Well, it's a German pressing.
Yeah, it says German pressing, but as like the Wikipedia says, I guess when they released it in the UK, they released it as 2 EPs, and the US version was just 1 LP. And so this looks like that US version that came from Germany. So I don't know exactly what I got here. But,
we haven't opened it yet. It's still sealed.
It's pretty cool. It was $15, and so it seemed like a good deal for $15. And I like the music that's on here.
This is one of the more, like, you guys know, it's one of the more trippy Beatles releases. You got Strawberry Fields Forever, Penny Lane, All You Need Is Love. This is one of my favorite Beatles albums, and I'm not a huge Beatles fan, but this is probably in my maybe top 3, actually.
Yeah, so I think this was something to do with, there was a I can't remember the guy's name. There was a professor that was advocating the use of LSD, and this was the Beatles venture into that, and they made this movie where you kind of take a magical mystery, or you take these little mystery tours to different places. So I Am the Walrus is one of those little tours.
I haven't even seen the movie,
that pop out. I think they used to play some of the cartoons of it early in the mornings, but I haven't seen it either. Then it includes a 24-page full color picture book, so that's cool too.
Sweet.
But I think what you're saying is it's the kind of their chance to put something out, kind of experimenting with the idea of LSD being kind of mind expanding, not dangerous for you maybe. Thoughts. So they can't, some cool sides. So, but anyway, I just thought it was for $15. I thought it was a good deal.
Yeah, sealed, $15 reissue, not bad.
So this is 67, and so my theme I think is going to be for the records I got. There's all sort of a British link here, or United Kingdom anyway, link to all these different albums. The other album, this album here, next album I got was I'm gonna say the name wrong, OC Bisa, and so I picked this up for $7. This is their debut album.
Yeah, it
so
says 14, but he got it for half off. So.
half off. So listen to it. It was a little bit scratchy, so glad that I got it for $7. The reason I picked this up was I saw after I picked up the Beatles, I was looking record, the Magical Mystery Tour. The elephants with butterfly wings just seemed so cool, so I picked this one up. This band actually was they recorded this album in London. They were all expats from I guess they're from two different places, from Ghana and West Africa, and then Caribbean, which I'm assuming they were must have been from the British Caribbean, the Virgin Islands. And so the band actually recorded this. This is their debut album, and I think it came out. It was like 1972 time frame. They listed the music to me sounds it's like rock with a huge it's like instrumental rock, but like the percussion with a huge percussion set, because they have all different types of percussion going on. Great
guitar too. There's even some, I would say, a bit of Psych guitar on there. Some cool solos. We really like this. This is really good. The record's not in the best shape. What label is it on? Oh, I think it's here. Show the gatefold too.
Is a Decca is the.
Yeah, the Decca label.
Decca label. I've been recorded in London, and then you're right. Like this is the fold out, and they list where everybody's from. I didn't even notice that the first time I looked at this. Is Ghana,
Grenada.
Yep. And then for the Caribbean, so you got Grenada, Antigua, Trinidad, and then Nigeria. So the folks are expats from everywhere, but they get together in London and they put this debut album together, and then they have several others after this. They got their website still up if you want to check it out too. It's based out of the UK, and so they have some. I think the last. Well, they may still be playing. But I saw a concert in the later 2000s, so they may still be out there. I just didn't I may have heard of them, just not known I knew about them. But the music's pretty awesome on this album.
It is awesome.
They sound pretty cool. So again, recorded in London with the Beatles from London, and then this one I picked up for $5. It was Michael Jackson's Thriller album. So this was buried in a bunch of 19 bands from the 1950s, and this was in there too. And so I pulled this one out and was in good condition. I remember when the video Thriller came out in the 80s, and my friend would call me to come over when it was going to show on MTV, because it would show at certain times in MTV. We didn't have MTV at our house. So we would jump over and watch the debut of Thriller when it came up, and then
you guys know this album. Every single song is good.
Is good.
Tons of hits.
And Quincy Jones has produced it. And Quincy Jones is my British connection, because Quincy Jones' great granddad was Welsh, and so that's how. That's how you get these. That's the connection from.
And also another British connection, Paul McCartney.
Oh, that's right, Paul McCartney. The obvious one.
Girl Is Mine, yeah.
And that was actually that's right. Well. And The Girl Is Mine was, I'm pretty sure, was the first single that was released off this album.
And was it?
And then this is like Michael Jackson's 6th album.
I thought it was his second.
So it's the second. I think it's the second with Quincy Jones.
Okay.
And then Michael Jackson. I didn't know this. I saw this on some info on Michael Jackson. I guess he met Quincy Jones in the movie The Wiz, and so I never was a huge fan of The Wiz. But if I guess he met Quincy Jones in The Wiz, and then Quincy Jones starts producing albums, and that's when you get Off the Wall, and then this album, and then. That's something else I remember about this album is when you went into the record store to go find it, it was all in the soul section. They had this album, they had it in in the soul section, and when I was little, I couldn't figure it out, like what soul music was, because it was like when I looked at the different. I remember flipping through the albums, and they're like you had Michael Jackson in there with like "Beat It," which is like a totally different sound than some of the other records they had in the soul section. And later on, I figured out it was like if you had any kind of dark skin, they put you in the soul section. At least where I grew up in Florida, and so that's why Michael Jackson. When you went in there, you couldn't find. Like I never was able to find the album until you went over to the soul section, and that's where you'd find Michael Jackson at that time. So it was a breakthrough album, I think, in a couple different ways, but.
For sure.
Everybody knows about this album. I just thought it was. I like the songs "Thriller" and "Beat It." Didn't have it, and for $5.
Yeah, $5. Because I usually see it for $20, $15 to $20 around there. And this is a really clean copy too.
Yeah,
it plays really nice. Sounds great on vinyl.
The hi hat really comes through. You get the percussion side of the record really comes through. When I listen to the digital copy, percussion sound doesn't sound quite. You don't get the vibration. You can hear the snare drum really well in this. You get the snares on the snare drum and the hi-hat vibrating a little bit in the on the vinyl copy. And I don't quite pick that up when on the digital copies when we're listening to it. So it is a little bit different. I have avoided Michael Jackson after the so much weird stuff came out about him later on, and when this album came out, for that time frame,
He was the man.
Yeah, I really liked. I mean, I thought "Beat It" was a great song. I wasn't a huge Thriller fan, but I liked the video. The video was amazing when it came out, and I think it really helped put MTV on the map, as I recall, during that time frame. So that was neat.
So, what do you guys think? Did we get some pretty good stuff? I think we did.
I think I did better because I did $27.
Okay, you got the better deals.
Yeah.
Like I said, I spent $100, so I'm not sure. The Green on Red, that was a good deal. The 2 LP move set for $6, that was a good deal. And Steve Earle's Exit Zero for $6. I thought those were good deals. The rest, Oh, Morrison Hotel, $10 for, that was pretty good too.
And you had a lot of crazy characters you had to deal with to get where you got to negotiate and do stuff with.
Yes, the Van Halen guy. Okay, so I asked one vendor if he had any XTC albums, because I was looking for XTC and I was looking for more Depeche Mode originals, which I did not find, obviously. But so I asked this vendor if he had any XTC, and the guy who's standing next to me browsing through a bin, he was like, "Have you heard this Van Halen album, young lady?" And I'm just like, it was like a live album or something. I'm like, no, I haven't heard that one. He's like, if you haven't heard this, then you're not a true rock and roll fan. I'm just like, excuse me. And then I just said, well, The Who are my favorite band, so I think I know a little bit of something about rock and roll. And he didn't say anything after that. So I thought that was a really weird thing. And we ran into Garen, by the way. Garen, yeah, he came up to us and he said, "Hey, how are you guys doing?" It looks like he got quite a few albums himself, so stay tuned for his video. I guess I didn't really see what he got, but we were kind of busy digging through things. But it was good to see him. And were you going to say something else?
I was saying there's an Eddie Van Halen connection too on the Beat It that you brought up. The guy that brought up Van Halen. Mm-hmm. We should maybe mention this too. Maybe we could have. Yeah. Van Halen. I didn't know this. Beat It. Eddie Van Halen's playing guitar on "Beat It." So,
there you go.
I think that's correct. So I didn't know that. When I did a little research on this album, I saw Eddie Van Halen, and I had no idea he was playing guitar. So.
I have a semi dislike for Eddie Van Halen because he bashed Pete Townsend in the '80s. I believe he bashed his guitar playing. So I'm not.
Maybe it was like.
His character, I don't know if I really like his character.
Maybe they were friends, but like in public, they had an argument going
Possibly.
To generate controversy.
I don't know. All right, you guys, that's we won't take up any more of your time, but we want to show our finds and do this video finally. So thank you for watching. If you're a new sub, thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. And if we go shopping again soon together, we will do another finds video. I have more stuff to show you guys that I bought last month, so that'll probably be later this week or next week. Thank you so much, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Yes, I can see back in
have any XTC records?
Young lady, do you have this Van Halen album?
I do not.
This Van Halen is the best rock and roll ever. You should not be looking for XTC if you do not have a full collection of Van Halen.
The Who are my favorite band, so I think I know what good rock and roll is.
Young lady, do you have this Van Halen UK import?
I do not.
Then how do you know that the Who is the best ever? If
They
you have
started way before Van Halen.
You have not listened to this UK import either, have you, of Van Halen?
Did I say I was interested in Van Halen?
Young lady, if you have not listened to Van Halen, you should not be looking for XTC. You should be asking for Van Halen.
I'm out of here.
Young lady, do you have this Van Halen? Young lady.
Bye. That was better. That was better.